Alright, so I said I was going to do one where I'm sealing up these vents and show you how to make them a little better. Maybe not a whole lot, but somewhat. So, might be hard to see on camera, I'm not sure. You can see the edge of the duct overlapping the top of the vent here. And then guess what? There's a big gap on the other side of it. So when it's blowing air, it's blowing it into the roof. So, you don't want shit blowing into the roof because you want to feel it, not the roof. So let's seal that up. So now to seal it up, I'm going to use this aluminum tape. Obviously it can't really go in a circle. So I'm going to cut some strips. And I'm going to overlap the strips. If you just get 1-inch tape, you can do that as well. And then you won't have to cut it like this because it'll already be 1 inch. I got the wide stuff because there's some stuff where the wide stuff is so much better. So much. Alright, now we're going to have my lovely assistant hand me these as we go to help speed it up. And all we're going to be doing here is we're just going to peel this backing like that. Not completely because that won't want to stay flat. So once it's peeled, we're going to stick it up here like this. Oh, a little long there. And over into our duct. So this piece that's here, it's foil, so it tears easy, so you can just rip that extra off. If you goof like I goofed. So now this one, let's start the other way just to make sure it's good. So we want these to overlap. It'll double up the foil. This was thin foil. I got the cheap stuff. So yeah, doubling it up makes it stronger. And just make sure that you got it all taped down inside that duct. We're even going to tape up the side that doesn't have a gap because once it gets pressurized, it might make its own gap. Right now there's no air blowing through it, so it's not pressurized at all. You want to make sure your tape is all the way down because you don't want it sticking up. If it sticks up, then it could create problems. And now you can take your duct and snap it back up there. Now I didn't show you how I took it out, but I will on the next. But you can see you got 3 spots here that need to snap in. So let's. There we go. And now it's snapped in. So we'll put it back below where we had it, just like that. And now it should give that a little more oomph. So now this is how I took it out. You can see the tab right here on that side. So if they all point to it, so you can take your fingers and stick them up in there, probably like the second or third one, and grab that. And then once you release it, then you can kind of pull down and out and it'll snap right out of there. Now, this is why this one's gonna be different here. Few things you see here. The duct keeps going. Where does it keep going? It's got to have an end somewhere. I don't know, but not here. And this one's right here. So we're going to make a termination for this and we're going to seal it. So this one has the opposite problem as the other one. This one is like way jammed up there. Whereas the other ones were like too short. And that other one was like too short. This one's jammed up in it. So this tape is going to go up here like this, down to the duct. Alright, now like I said, I want to make a termination for it. So I want something so it comes here and any air that's in here gets rammed out this duct. So to do that, I'm going to use this again. You could use some foam, but I'm going to construct one out of this foil here. It should work. Meh. Alright, so now I'm going to kind of stick this right to the top there like that. And I'm just going to pull this adhesive and get it to stick. Just like that. And what that's going to do is that's going to ram any air in and down. Now we got to get over to the side because this goes over probably a couple inches. So we need to seal that as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of form this a little bit. And we're going to very carefully, this might not work as well. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's go until we hit that wall. Stick it along this one here. And then stick it up. And now we can reach across, stick it up and touch it, stick it to everywhere inside this duct on the inside, on the bottom too. All right, now we don't want this making noise. We still have to do this little edge too, but while we're at it, let's put some longer strips on that. Strengthen it up, make it a little more rigid. Quiet it down a little bit, just that way when it's blowing, that doesn't add another noise. We still have a whole lot of ducts. All right, so now, just like the other one, you want to put this back up in there without messing up your hard work. It's too much. So there we go. All right, and now we're done in this room. Now, we're gonna go do that to all the other ones, and if we do anything different, I'll show you along the way. All right, now here's our 15K BTU Mach 3. So I've read some things about this that might make it not perform so great as well. We're gonna pop it open, check it out, see if it's happened to ours, show you how to fix it, show you how to prevent it. There we go. One of those to already have dust. I mean, we use this once, maybe twice. We want to pull these screws. This whole faceplate's going to come down when I do it, so be prepared. All right, there we go. All right, you can see you got a couple pieces there. So the pieces you have here, these are for your dumps in the front and back. So that creates this little duct for that, so it can work. So it would blow down and then out those ends. Now, if you look, your AC has two distinct sides. This side blows out, this side sucks in. Now, if you look, one thing I've read is this can move. And it looks like it's stuck in there pretty good, but it could probably move. And then look at this too. It's not even sealed around our ducts. See that? It's just hanging out, huge gap. So this is where you're gonna lose massive amounts of air. Same up here. And all this wood, you're just going to be losing air like nobody's business. So we have a duct on each side, and what we want to do is we want to tape those up good, seal them around all the edges, and then we want to tape around this to seal this so it doesn't move. That way it can't stop dividing our intake. Because the one thing I read was that this could blow one way or the other, and then it'll pretty much be blowing and sucking the same air and not really forcing it through your stuff. Okay, so one thing I would like to point out is this problems that we just found. This RV is brand new. We've only used the AC a few times, that's it. So the fact that this is going on is nothing that I would not expect to find anything better on any other RV. This is not necessarily this one's problem. This is how RVs are built. So I would expect to see this on your RV, whatever it might be. If you're paying 100-something thousand for an RV, you know, $1 million, your life savings, I don't know, maybe that one will be a little better. But personally, I'd still stick my head up there, because if you're paying that much for it, chances are you might have some issues, and why not fix them if you can? Look at that. A much bigger opening now, isn't it? Wow. All right, now I look over here at this one. Same issue, and it's broke apart in the corner. So I could tape it up to this back edge. So we'll tape that up. Seal all this real nice. And then you'll see along this, there's a gap up here. There's a big gap here. We're gonna tape all those, seal those up, because those are gonna be other places that our nice cold air is going when we only want it to come out our ducts. All right, we got all our gaps sealed up. I went and taped over pretty much everything in here just to make sure it's good and sealed. And that's that. Now we can put the cover back on. All right, assistant, I need you on your feetsies. All right, and now our divider is firmly in place. I feel like there should be more screws and they just didn't put them in to help seal that up, because otherwise it is going to be blowing out its own junk. Let's see, because this is going to become pressurized, and when it does, it's going to come out and cool air is going to leak in there. The front's going to be sucking, so it's only going to, I guess, maximize that problem. So we want to try and seal this part up so you don't have cold air going to the hot air. And like I said, it looks as if there should be screws here that they did not put in when they installed this. And we had some, I actually might have some, I might put some in there too. Screws, let's see if we got something that'll go in there. All right, let's see if these screws will go in there. I don't know, we'll find out. There we go. There we go, that'll hold that part up nice and firm now. All right, now we can put these back in. All right, now that should blow better. All right, so now with everything sealed up, fan set to high, let's turn it on. Oh man, you can actually feel air coming out of those at a pretty good rate. Wow. Like these ones, I can feel, could never really feel them before. Wow, they're pretty good. And then this one, I just noticed I didn't quite get it in there right. So let's get that fixed real quick. Alright, yeah, there we go. But yeah, air is racing out of these. You can feel it. Oh man, even, wow, that's a lot of air. I was just thinking of getting rid of these, but now I don't know. They never screamed like that before. Wow. Never mind, I think we're gonna leave those. I was thinking of getting rid of them and building like a little ramp thing in there to change the to pretty much make the air flow smoothly into the ducts. That's why I had all this foam sitting here, but I don't want to now. With this thing sealed up right, I mean, we don't have crazy ventilation with both of those open and the rest anymore, but I can still feel it blowing out of here. Let's check the garage. Wow, you can still feel it here too. So yeah, those are staying, I guess. Even with them both open, there's a substantial increase in airflow right now. Just sealing that all up and sealing all those ducts, that I'm happy. I want to leave it. Get a lot of extra cooling air in here with these. I like it. Yeah, we're leaving them. All right, never mind. So that's it for the air. That was amazing, the difference it made. Wow. So we do, like I said, have this other AC in here too, but this thing is screaming air out of it right now. So if this one's blowing as well and we have air screaming out, it's gonna help get all this cool air that this one's dumping right here out into the rest of the RV, which will help increase the cooling power, because that's a 13.5 BTU, that's a 15K BTU. It's almost the same size, except this one's just for this room. Having that vent in there increases the pressure, draws some of that cool air out. It'll make that usable in here as well. So we're gonna keep it. And we're gonna keep those dumps, because if it gets hot in here, we can always close the garage door, pop the dumps, and at least get a lot of cool in here and there. So we'll see how it goes on our next trip. Wow, I'm impressed. This is sweet. See you next time. Buff it up, 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 buff it up,